Okay, this is a much better representation of what a race course will actually look like on your table. As you can see, I've taken 10 race zones and I have arranged them into the combo course, which is kind of half space and half trench. You can see I've got the 2 repair bays in their proper position. There's a draw pile, a discard pile, room for the dice, room for the reference, a place to put some tokens, so everything's pretty much ready to go. One thing I did want to mention about the repair bays is you may have noticed they don't look like they're as thick as the rest of the race boards. The reason for that is that we made some changes after getting the prototypes, but they will actually be nice thick boards like this, but we wanted to have an extra slot so that all the gunships could land at the same time if needed. So that being said, we're going to do an example of a turn. We're going to assume that this is about mid-race. As you can see, a couple of the turrets have been destroyed, a lot of these bomb targets have been hit. As you may have guessed, the red gunship is in the lead because he's more of a racing style gunship. The blue one's around the middle of the pack, and the green one's kind of lumbering along behind everybody else. The first thing you do every turn is called the course phase. So we're going to move the cameras 1 space clockwise. So this one's going to move here. This one's going to move here. It's very important to kind of follow where the cameras are because anything you do in a zone where a camera is watching is worth double points, and you can score some ridiculous combos by doing that. The next thing that would happen would be to roll initiative. We're going to assume in this case that the blue gunship has 1 initiative, and then the red one will go next, the green one will go third, and the white gunship has had some issues during this race. It's taken a lot of damage, so he will probably be staying in the repair bay for this turn. So, blue wants to catch up to red. Red is probably the biggest threat to him as far as points and winning the race. Attacking green is kind of pointless. Green still has a lot of armor and shields left. So blue is going to spend his 4 actions. Remember, he gets an extra action for that advanced power generator, and he's going to conduct his turn like this. First, he's going to draw 2 cards. And the next step is called the speed phase. And he's going to go ahead and go speed 3. So he would move his throttle token up to the 3, and since he does not have a cryoflux, he has to roll 2 race dice. Okay, he lucked out this time. He didn't get any of these overheat symbols. If he'd gotten one of these, he would have had to place an overheat token on his engines. If he'd rolled 2 of those, he would have had to place a red overheat symbol on his engines. Anything over red actually damages them, and believe me, in this game you do not want to have damaged engines. But no worries about that. So he has to move 3 squares forward. So he's going to move his 1, he's going to move 2. Now, since there's a camera in that zone, he wants to take full advantage of the fact that he gets double points for attacking red, plus he wants to attack red anyway. So with his 3rd action, he's going to fire that auto blaster cannon. Bam, bam, bam. And that would do 3 hits of damage either to red's shields if he still had shields, or would knock out shields and do damage to the ship. It just kind of depends on red's situation. With his last remaining action, he's going to move into this trench, and if you notice there are 4 active gun turrets there, but since he's moving speed 3, he's going to roll half the number. Normally he would roll 4 dice, but at speed 3 he only has to roll 2. And he didn't take any hits from either one because the gun turrets only hit on a bullseye. So he had a fairly fortunate turn. It would then be red's turn after blue's discard. Red is going to ignore blue completely because he just wants to stay in the lead, and he wants to move 3. He doesn't have to roll the dice because he has a cryoflux, and he's going to go 1. The turrets will attack him. Okay, so he takes an additional hit of damage. 2. Now, since he has entered this hazard, he's going around a corner, and he's going around a corner really fast. Normally he would have to roll 3 of the battle dice from gunship first strike to see if he takes damage, but since he also has those racing thrusters, he only has to roll 2. Okay, he takes a further hit of damage. And depending on where that damage went, that could affect his turn. In this case, we're just going with a more generic approach, but red has definitely taken some hits. And then red would move his final to here. If he had bombs, he would like to be able to bomb that remaining target to try to score another point, but he doesn't have the actions left, nor does he have any bombs left, so that would finish his turn. That would leave green. Green has nobody to attack. He's going to lumber along at 2 and just move here. And white's just going to stay in the repair bay this turn, taking his full 6 repair actions and try to get his ship back in it so that he can return to the race. A famous man once said that asteroids did not concern him. Well, in Gunship Afterburners, they better concern you because they can wipe you out before you know it, and they're a very, very dangerous place to be. We're going to assume it's late in the race. It's the last lap. Red wants to go ahead and move as quickly as possible to get to Rally Station, because next turn he wants to cross that finish line and end this thing because he's ahead on points and he's pretty sure he's going to be able to maintain his lead. He's going to go ahead and dive into the asteroid field at speed 3, which is normally suicidal, but he has those racing thrusters, so that's going to help him out just a little bit. He's a little bit more maneuverable than everybody else. So he's going to set his throttle token on speed 3. Again, he does not have to roll for overheat because he does have that cryoflux, and the generator that's attached to is currently functional. And he's going to move his first space into the asteroid field. Now normally he would have to roll a 12-sided die 3 times on this asteroid results chart because 1 for each of his speed, but since he has those maneuvering thrusters, he only has to roll 2. But he has no actions left, so he is not going to be able to defend himself against the asteroids. So let's see what happens. Okay, the first one he rolled a 10, so he only has 1 asteroid to deal with. It strikes him, does a hit of damage, let's say it hits one of his weapons, and he's okay. He's a little bit battered, but he's going to continue to push through. He has to roll a second one, it's mandatory. Okay, that time he rolled a 6. He just got hit by 2 more asteroids. Now, again, depending on where those are actually hitting him, because this is kind of a generic example, they may have hit his engines, they may have hit his shield generator, they could have done something to make his journey much more difficult and dangerous. But he's passed this one, so now he's going to move into the next one. He has to roll 2 more times. Okay, he rolled another 9, taking 1 more asteroid hit of damage. And the last one was an 11. That means safe path. That means he found a safe path through the field, and he doesn't take any more damage or anything from that particular roll. Since he's made it through here, he has 1 move left, and he would move to the space station. Now, he has not completed a lap yet. He's going to have to wait until next turn and actually cross that checkered line to be able to win the race. He went through the asteroids pretty fast. Due to the racing thrusters, he made it through with no damage, or little damage, I'm sorry. But you have to be very careful with this asteroid field. Sometimes you can roll 3 asteroid results. There's fast ones that hit you automatically. There's a large asteroid that does 4 hits of damage. Every time you go through the asteroid field, it's a completely different experience. And depending on what gets hit by asteroids, it could completely wreck your whole day.